Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, viewers. We've got another Metabreakers podcast coming to you this Sunday afternoon, like always. What's going on? We have today a very exciting guest. As you can see here, we've got 4 videos going. We've got Harash. Bam!
Hello.
Our special guest
Woo!
for today. We have, of course, DracoCatt, Demon Hunter Extraordinaire, Glaive Bound Adept Master. Then we've got DmoneyGames over there on the side. Superstar mage player, making priests more popular again. You just love to see it if you're a control player out there, you know what I'm saying? So, because we have a guest, we will always start with this. Harash, as a Hearthstone player, you know, how long have you been playing? What's your highest rank? What's your favorite deck? If you answer these wrong, the chat's not going to like you. The floor is
Gotcha. Okay. So I've been playing since I actually did not play the beta, but I played when the game first came out. I actually hated the game in the beta. I thought it was really stupid. It's like, wow, like I played WoW and they're like, oh, here's a card game. Okay, this is stupid. But so I started playing when it first came out super casually. Probably first hit Legend, maybe 2 years in, maybe like 2014 or 15. My favorite deck is definitely Ancestral Guidance Malygos Shaman by far. OTK Shaman Mally deck was my favorite. So yeah, that's a little bit about my Hearthstone background.
That's so exciting. The OTK Shaman deck was so great.
Yeah. I especially loved it because I don't know, someone brought it to a tournament and like no, it wasn't even a deck, and they like won the tournament. I think it was, I don't remember what tournament, but it was years and years ago. It was just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you should have got out of the game while you could, man. But now you're just stuck.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just thinking about where the wrong answers to that question be. That would make chat dislike you.
Demon Hunter.
No, I think it would be like my favorite deck of all time is Odd Paladin. My highest rank is Silver 8, and
Right.
what was the last question, Warshack?
When did
I
you
actually
start?
do really. Sorry. Oh, when I start, yeah.
Yesterday.
Right.
Yesterday.
I did like Pirate Warrior back in Mean Streets of Gadgetzan. I love that. That will make people mad. With patches. That's when patches came out. I loved that deck. So
That deck, it just never bothered me. Like you knew what it was gonna do, right? It required
exactly.
weapons. You could tech against it. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I guess I'm against the grain on like what normal people hate, but I never really minded Pirate Warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pretty straightforward deck. You know, you just play all your green cards and then you smack your opponent in the face. It's reminiscent of, you know, Demon Hunter, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go off on that.
Demon
right
Hunter
now.
Already started it.
Already with the Demon Hunter.
Started
hate.
that early, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but welcome to the podcast, Harash. If you guys don't know, Harash was in Montreal, Master Store Montreal. He actually beat Gabby live on the live stream. That was pretty exciting. We had a chant going in the chat for him. Never disrespect the Harash. So he's quite famous. Happy to have you aboard. You know, we asked you some hard questions there, but I'm gonna make it even harder for you now. All right.
All right.
Because what I like to do when we have a guest on the podcast, for the last 2 guests, I think, I like to ask some questions, some like rapid fire questions that will just help chat get to know you a little better, help us get to know you a little better, and it's kind of like icebreaker questions. So are you ready for the rapid fire D-Money questions here?
I'm born ready. Let's do it.
All right, I have 6 questions for you.
Okay.
You need to answer them within 5 seconds each. Okay, you just got to think of an answer. You got to tell it to me. They should be pretty easy.
Okay.
All right. Ready, set, here we go. Salsa or guacamole?
Salsa.
Breakfast or lunch?
Lunch.
Does the week start on a Sunday or a Monday?
Sunday.
Favorite color?
Purple.
What's the last movie that you watched?
Lord of the Rings. Fellowship of the Ring.
Last question. How many languages can you speak?
1.5. I know a little Spanish.
All right.
Nice.
Well done.
Well done.
Thank you for that.
So we're gonna go through things fast today, guys. We have a lot of shit to cover. So we're gonna jump right into the meta now, which looks fairly identical to the previous week, I think, right?
I wanted to talk more about that week starting on Sunday, but yeah, we could go into the meta.
That was the first thing that came in my head. I don't know. Isn't that like the
corporate.
Not like this, like the correct. Isn't it supposed to start on Sunday or something? Or when
You're
they did the
correct.
weeks? Yeah.
It starts on Sunday and like
Yeah. Isn't that
pretty
like
much
a
any
fact?
job environment, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't
On a
the calendar
calendar.
even. The calendar starts on Sunday, right? On the left, and then it goes to Saturday.
Yeah.
On a calendar,
Yeah.
yes, but it,
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense. Let's
Okay.
be real.
No, I mean, I get it. Yeah, like.
All right, what's this meta looking like, guys?
Paladin. Like, I wanted to talk shortly about it. Literally yesterday when I was playing, I had a 60% against Paladin the entire day. It's either pure or the broom, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. It's so everywhere. That is all.
It's
My rant is
yeah.
over.
I played a bunch of Paladin this week. So I have this really annoying thing to do where on EU they won't let me play duels or battlegrounds or arena because I haven't leveled all the classes to level 10. So I had to figure out the fastest way to do that, which was playing casual games with people and throwing decks together really fast. So I had the Librum Paladin card. And I made the Librum Paladin and I played it, and it was just really unstoppable. And it's kind of hard, but I don't know. It's yeah, I get why it's on top, man. It's just like it's not that hard to play, but it's just really, really efficient. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like any other deck where you just, after you get to know it, like after you play with it a few times, and you, like, the math does seem like pretty hard at first glance, but like once you start getting into like putting down the pen flingers and everything, it should be getting easier for you. And yeah, I agree. I hate playing against it personally. I don't know if it's pen flinger. I don't know if it's just the like Lady Leodrin, but yeah, it's just frustrating to play against. It could really do like everything, I guess. Right.
Yeah.
I think it's the ease of the deck with the power level of the deck. The deck is, in my opinion, extremely easy to pilot. Like, it's just like you play a card or you buff the card, and then if you have leftover mana, you're gonna weave in pen flingers. It's the same thing every game, which I guess is not the worst thing because it's like not RNG really heavy where they're discovering a bunch of stuff, but it just feels so bad to just constantly getting owned by a guy with a pen thingy. And it takes forever. Like, their turns literally are roped out every time because they're just like constantly applying buffs and just pen flingering. And it's just like, oh my god, please stop. But a counter to them is Big Warrior, believe it or not. Big Warrior seems to be doing very well against them. So you happen to enjoy Warrior, Big Warrior. Yeah. I went.
Do that.
Yeah, I apparently I looked up, some guy looked up the stats and told me to look at it, and he said Big Warrior's favorite, and then I played Big Warrior against it, and I had like a 90% win rate against Paladin when I switched to Big Warrior. So
I put 2 Consume Magics in my Soul DH, and it seems to be actually doing fine against Paladin. It helps a lot.
Interesting.
So yeah,
I've been seeing that a lot again with Demon Hunter too. Those silences, very annoying.
yeah.
People always ask me why I don't run 2 consumes, and that's because it makes my Demon Hunter deck weaker in the mirror, and I play Demon Hunter every day, so I don't want to lose mirrors in front of people. So that's pretty much my reasoning with that. Like, I don't really care if my deck overall is not winning as much as long as I'm winning the mirrors at an effective ratio.
Right. I mean, I was just playing so many Paladins. I mean, I was playing like 5 Paladins in a row at one point. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I just had to. I'm like, I just have to do it. So,
I feel it. Druid went up 1 rank and Priest went down. That is the literally only thing that's different, and everything is almost identical to the percentile as well. There's only like a few of them that are even. No one's even like an entire 1% off of where it was previously. So, yeah.
All right, top 1K.
Really good. Top 1K.
All right, let's go there, boys. Whoa, Highlander Priest, what the heck is going on there?
Oh my god, it was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have been playing that, haven't you?
That was literally all me.
And
Probably
right,
helped. Yeah, I'm sure.
right there in top 1K too. So that just shows that the deck is still like kicking ass.
What was your
yeah.
tweet, Dan, on the Highlander Priest? You hit what rank?
I hit 34 with it. 2 days ago, and then yesterday I hit 25 with it. And when I put out that tweet, I was 31-9 with Highlander Priest. I was just stomping like literally everybody. Like, the only games that I lost were to like top decks or just RNG shit. But yeah, the deck's really good, and it's a lot more fun than like the control variant, in my opinion. Like the 2-ups. I mean, I love Highlander decks. I'll make anything Highlander.
Yeah.
So I'm just loving on the deck, and it's nice to see that it's other people are too.
Why do you think it's good right now? Because we've seen it pop up. It was pretty good a little bit ago. It died out, and now we're seeing it back there. Like, why is this well positioned? Like, what makes this good now?
I think it's always been good. I think it's just been overshadowed by the Control Priest. But I think that this deck is better against Demon Hunter, which is really, really popular at my rank.
I would disagree, honestly. I'm just going to say that because I would so much rather play against one Apotheosis Priest that is hard ran in their deck other than like two and then the discovered ones.
Well,
so.
I also run Ooze and Sticky Finger, so that does help too.
Yeah.
I'm like 11-1 against Demon Hunter with it. So it's like not even close right now.
It's probably also because the Surge and Paladin. I mean, it destroys Paladin, right? I mean, it's insane.
It's actually kind of like a 50-50 with Paladin.
Really? I feel like it'd be pretty
Yeah,
good.
it really depends on like the start. If Priest has a good start, then Priest wins it usually. And if Paladin has a good start, there's like nothing you could do to stop it.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say if it was good against Paladin, then it's winning the Paladins. There's less Demon Hunters, but maybe it's just doing better against Demon Hunters. So that might be why.
I killed a lot of Highlander priests, and I hit rank 25 this week as well. Just saying, and I went probably 9-2 against them. So I think I don't know if D Money's completely accurate on that statement.
I can show you my stats, bro.
That's cool. I feel like there's only one way to figure this out, man. But
what, a 1v1? What, are you challenging me, bro?
We probably just need to do it like a whole bunch of times and see who wins more, and then it'll definitely mean that the deck's more powerful or not powerful. Not that.
Do it.
We should put 5 subs on the line.
I would put subs on it,
Okay.
Oh, didn't we have a bet for subs? Like a thing like last week or some shit.
We did.
We'll talk about that later. Unimportant. We'll figure it out.
Unimportant.
No, I think what, you don't want to talk about it because I won? Or
well, it's not that you won, it's just we got to move through this quickly so we can get to the most exciting part of the podcast.
Now D-Money wants to talk about bets whenever he's winning one.
Oh. I think they actually fixed that, so you'd actually owe us the subs.
No, they didn't. No.
I don't even remember the bet. Can you
it's for Potion of Illusion. If you play the Potion of Illusion card and then you conjures it, it gives you 1-drops now. And you guys were saying that it was like a bug that they're gonna fix.
No, it's not a bug.
It's not a bug.
Oh, it's a bug.
That's intentional.
No,
that doesn't make any sense. That's just counteracting.
No.
Yeah, they fixed it. It's fixed up. They put a band-aid on it.
Is it really? I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
No, they fixed it.
I feel like you're trolling.
No, this is serious.
I don't know you
just
well
like
enough
Viva Pinata. No, this is serious.
Okay.
Sounds like
have you seen it? You've seen it?
Oh, I've done it. Are you questioning? Have you done it? What are you doing, dude?
Warshack
have you conjured your Potion of Illusion?
I haven't done it because it's not a bug.
You haven't? Yes, you haven't even tested it. You're going to tell me it works or it doesn't work? You didn't even remember we had a bet. You know why you didn't remember? It's because I won because I tested it. Anyway,
no, I actually thought about it before the podcast, but whatever. No, I won. I'm gonna have to go into a casual game and try this out.
Oh, because you're too scared to do it in ranked, eh?
Hey.
Well, duh.
No, okay, but seriously, Control Warrior. I've seen a couple of these brewing. And have you played against it where it runs the commander with the Rattlegore, and then like in the control matchups they make more Rattlegores, or is this like, is it good? Because if so, I kind of want to try this like really Control Warrior.
I don't know if most of the current Control Warriors are running Rattlegore, are they? Does it say it's in there? I can't tell.
Yeah, it's the first card. Core cards, Rattlegore. You see a shoulder plate.
I have seen more of it. I mean, I think it's pretty solid just because it's good against Demon Hunter again. So.
Yeah, I mean, just don't queue up against a priest and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got yourself a 25-minute game.
Because even the Paladin matchup's not bad with Rattlegore, right? Like you can just play Rattlegore and like, what is a Paladin gonna do? Like
it's fantastic.
Nothing.
Yeah, when you Dimensional Ripper with Big Warrior and hit 2 Rattlegores against a Paladin, they sit there and you could just see them like really upset. And then they start pen flingering them and then they concede. So.
Yeah, I just hate cards like I like Rattlegore personally, but I hate cards like Rattlegore that if you play them against a certain deck, you insta lose. Like if you play against a priest, like you honestly should just concede. And I hate playing decks like that. I hate playing cards like that.
Yeah.
That's why I took Rattlegore out of my Highlander Warrior, and like why I stopped playing Big Warrior on day 3 of the expansion. I just don't like insta loss matchups. It's just not my thing. It's really risky. Like if you don't play against like any priest, then sure maybe, but
Yeah.
I like playing against control warriors. It's like they don't think you can kill them 3 times.
Right.
You know,
It is a fun
Sometimes you
game with
can.
DH.
It's fun. But yeah, I have no problem with that being top. Like this is all pretty similar to last week. You know, like
Yeah.
I feel like we're all just eagerly awaiting the new cards because that's coming out in less than a week and a half now. It's coming out a week from Tuesday. So.
well,
Yeah.
what's coming out in less than a week? I would love to know.
Oh yeah, that's the next segment, isn't it? Well done.
Yes.
Well played.
Yes. We have important Hearthstone dates with terrible pictures.
So the next stuff coming up? Let me look at a calendar because I literally forget what day it is constantly. Would be
Wow.
the things on the 11th and the 12th.
It's so
Okay.
soon.
Yeah, wow.
Wow, that
3
is very
days, we
soon.
see all the rest of the cards. That's crazy.
Mhm.
That is
That's
crazy.
amazing.
That's a huge bunch of cards at one time, and people have been asking like for the card reviews, but I figured like random opinion. So if I were to do like a review of all the cards at one time, you'd think that'd be better, right? Because then you get to see everything at once and compare stuff. It's just so many cards so fast.
For sure, yeah. I would agree.
It's a lot of work for a video too. Though,
Yeah,
so you
I've
have to
done
push
that
yourself out.
I've done that the past 2 expansions where I review every single card on stream and then I chop them into videos for each class.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
takes me so freaking long. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I'm not doing it I mean, I also don't have a YouTube following, so I get like 50 views on like each
No, that feels
video,
bad.
and it's not worth it. I'm
Yeah,
never.
that
I'm
feels
not doing
bad.
it again.
I'm just
but-
gonna do it for Demon Hunter. I'm just gonna make
Yeah.
a video about all the Demon Hunter cards. The end.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's
leave
good.
it there.
It was
Mhm.
especially torture for last expansion because there were dual class cards. So like I'm
Mhm.
reviewing the cards freaking twice most of the time, and yeah, it takes like 8 hours to go through
No,
every
it's a
single
lot.
card, and
Yeah.
then like 6 to 8 hours of editing, and it's
Yeah, it's
It's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
work.
stuff.
I just don't feel like reviewing cards before you get to see them in like all of them is like really good. Like by yourself. Granted, with all 4 of us here, we should be able to really hammer out some good ideas. But by yourself, yeah, I'm gonna wait for them all. Anyway, let's continue. Sorry.
So important dates here: the reveal stream on the 11th, where we see all the rest of the cards. Then you got the 12th, where duels will be open to everybody. We will have the new progression system, the battle pass thing, and also the theory crafting live streams, which aren't for everybody, as we talked about on the podcast before. And then there's also the drops on the 12th, where you get 2 packs. Wow, insane! And then
Wow.
that's also when like they're going to be doing that pre-launch party where they're giving away like 6,000 gifted subs and like 1 million freaking mega bundles, 600 mega bundles. So
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
$80,000 worth of Hearthstone stuff.
Please see last week's podcast if you are concerned or interested in their pre-launch party extravaganza. Continue.
True.
You were going. Sorry. All right. No, I'm
Yeah,
sorry to
and
be
then on
interrupted.
the 17th, that's when all the magic happens. That's when the set launches, and that's when Duel Season 1 starts, which is very exciting. So there's gonna be like the ranked duels, and arena rotation. Wow.
Well,
Big
aren't they
deal.
ranked
Forget about
now?
that.
It's just the heroic one that comes out, right? Because don't they have an MMR
I mean-
associated with them right now?
I mean, it is like there's a ranking, but it means literally nothing.
Okay.
So,
There's a number,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably
sometimes the
just for
number goes
matchmaking
down.
purposes.
but most of the time it goes up.
Yeah.
Well, people like
if
that.
you're good, yeah.
Is that really how it works? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I played like 40 games of duels, and I don't remember it going down unless I lost like immediately like 0-3 or something.
I mean,
Which
it
is, like,
depends on what your ranking
rare.
is. If you go like 2-3, you're probably gonna lose rank, yeah. Or like
Okay.
anything like 3 or below, probably. I don't know.
I didn't know that. Interesting. Cool. Numbers. Yeah, that's pretty much all it is, though. You're right, though. So hopefully the rank system will be more exciting. Like maybe they'll put like a leaderboard on their website. I don't know. Would that make it feel better? Maybe.
Leaderboards are exciting. When
Leaderboards
they
are
gave a
exciting.
leaderboard to BGs, it like made it so it's like, oh, I'm in top 200. Look, there's my name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just kind of gave it a
Yeah.
little up. But this November
Well, they're
17th
playing
arena
clickbait.
rotation, like really exciting. Can't wait to play it.
Yeah.
It'll be fantastic.
Yeah, man.
No, what they're actually saying is the arena is being rotated out of the game.
Oh, thank
Oh
God.
my gosh. How tragic. Many tears will be shed.
Oh man. So that also means this upcoming weekend you can open all your packs and do the fireside gatherings and stuff starting on Friday the 13th. So
Yes,
you guys
I
want
gotta
to
make
open
a
your
YouTube
packs
video.
early, you can do that. Exciting.
Yep.
It's probably this, right? You want to move to the cards now and talk about the fun stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
What?
Bam. First card on the list. Paladin
First thing I
Legendary.
thought when I saw this card was I am going to lose a lot to this card. Battle Cry, if your deck has no neutral cards, gain Rush, Lifesteal, Taunt, and Divine Shield. It's Ziliax on Shirvala's body. For pure Paladin.
Yeah. When I first thought I wasn't like super slow, but then someone compared to Ziliax, and I was like, oh yeah, this card's insane. Yeah, Ziliax like broke the game, so yeah, this will definitely be good. 100%.
Yeah, really exciting to see Pure Paladin get something new. I mean, I'm not crazy about like Lee Broom Paladin per se, but I do enjoy Pure Paladin personally, and this is an insane card for Pure Pally. I mean, they already have a bunch of heal anyway, but this is just another way to really get it. And yeah, it's compared to Ziliax, this card is just so good. There's no doubt about it.
It's a really hard card to pull off, but it's just really powerful. So I'm not sure if the Paladins are going to be able to get this guy out. It's just a really hard requirement in that deck.
One thing I want to point out that's like pretty weird that they did in this set. They rarely do this, but the pure archetype was created during Ashes of Outland for Paladin, which was the first time we ever saw decks that had the requirement if your deck had no neutral cards. And historically, when they do things like this and create that archetype in one expansion, you rarely, if not ever, see it come back in a future expansion. So for this card to be coming out 2 expansions later and to be part of the pure Paladin archetype specifically, like to that package, this is like pretty unheard of in terms of like Hearthstone design. Yeah. So
Which,
Yeah, I
weird.
mean,
Then
You
go
go.
on, D. No, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's within the same year, then it's really not a problem. But if they were to do this like in the next year and then like the stuff rotates out, then it would be an issue. But yeah, that is interesting though.
yeah, I just think it's neat to think about, like, because a lot of times you think like when these archetypes come out, you're just like, okay, well, this is all pure Paladin's ever going to have. So I guess I'm never going to get any of these more payoff cards for this archetype. So when you think about deck building and these expansions that come out, this kind of opens up that like the design space. You're thinking like, oh shit, maybe they're going to like, put another Soul Fragment card out for my Demon Hunter deck or something like that, which is like, I don't know. I'm just specifically giving the first thing that comes to my mind, but like it's just weird that they did this. It opens up future design for archetypes that previously exist, which they didn't do before.
I mean, I've always been preaching forever that like Blizzard just does a really good job of keeping the game unique. Like it's already been 7 years, and they're still making unique things and effects and archetypes. It's awesome to see. I'd be down if this like became a thing and going forward in other decks, just because it's something new.
Yeah, Magic does a very similar thing because they've been around really they pull from each other. But Magic still comes out with really unique mechanics. With Hearthstone has taken some of those, and Magic has honestly taken some of Hearthstone stuff. But going back, like reprinting is, I think, what we're gonna start. Like we've already seen it with like Old Gods and a bunch of other stuff. But like reprinting cards, like potentially like Lothab and just a bunch of like cool tech cards, like Dirty Rat. I wouldn't be against that stuff. Or printing, like cards that synergize with decks that have already come out, like Draco said. Maybe another Soul Shard card for Demon Hunter, which normally would never happen, but now we see they're apparently, I guess, more open to it. So that'd be pretty cool. Never against it.
It's an exciting direction. This card is going to have the coolest golden animation. Like I just like love the way the card looks. Like I know that this card is just going to make me really mad, like in the actual context of playing the game, because it's often just going to mean I lose. But it's I'm sure it's gonna look really fucking cool. It's gonna look really cool. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was saying it before we started up the podcast. The artwork on these on like the past 3 sets or so, like I've just been like, it just keeps getting better and better. Like it's so good right now. And I love me some golden cards more than anybody. So I'm especially gonna love it this expansion. I'm gonna make all the old gods golden right away.
Oh,
and
yeah.
whatever else, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right. Next card. Ah.
All right. So
Draco
you said you were gonna
special.
hate that last card, Draco. I'm gonna hate this card.
Yeah. You think it's gonna make you lose a lot?
This was a card that when I woke up and I opened my Twitter and I saw this, I immediately went to go tweet myself because I was just so outraged by what had happened. I think this card is going to be really bonkers. I mean, with Eldrazi Warblades, it's quite obvious that that's like the card that combos with it really well. That's like really, really strong. That's a lot of damage. You could OTK your opponent on like turn 8 or something, or turn 7 if you have the right. If you went into a skull or something on turn 6. I think this card is super good. I mean, even with I-Beam, like we don't even have too many lifesteal cards for Demon Hunter right now, but this makes I-Beam viable as well, I feel. Because then it's more flexible. It could be either a heal or it could be for damage.
Wait.
And I'm assuming that DH is going to get more lifesteal stuff this expansion too, to combo with that too. So I think it's really good.
This with Moarg, right?
Okay, yeah.
You
I
play
didn't think about
Moarg,
that.
and then all of a sudden your damage does extra spooge, and then you do Giga Spooge, and then your opponent dies. Fantastic.
I was thinking about that, honestly, Warshack, because in the previous expansion, Ashes of Outland, I know Harash played this deck like I did, but there was still controlled Demon Hunter, which is kind of what Soul Fragment Demon Hunter has taken the form of now. And you ran a whole bunch of lifesteal cards in that deck, and you ran Moargs. So, and Soul Cleave was really crazy with a whole bunch of Moargs, right? Because like if you played Moarg against a hunter and then Soul Cleaved, you would do 8 damage to each minion, heal for 16. So this circumstance allows you to do that and like do 16 face damage, like, or use an I-Beam for 9 face damage or crazy shit like that, which is kind of a cool thing you could build a deck around, maybe. So
Yeah. I feel like I might be different than most people. I actually think this card is not good. I really just don't think it's so. Here's my case. I don't think this card is good. That actually sparked the most interest I've ever heard with Moargs and I-Beams. Like maybe now you could get me to it, but the reason why I don't think it's good, just straight up, is because it's a 4-mana 2/6 aggro card that requires you to play non-aggro cards. Like, what are you gonna do? Put this, like, I don't know. And the other problem is people are like, well, what about Soul DH? And you play Eldrazi Warblades, and then, okay, so you're telling me you're going to play Eldrazi Warblades the turn before, then you're going to play, like, Lapidary and this card, and, like, so, like, turn 10, it's like a 9-mana combo. You're already probably winning the game. Like, I think it's either a win more card in most decks, or it's a card that doesn't fit in the archetype that it needs to go in. So that's why I think this card's pretty trash.
But
I think
what if
it could work.
What if you just play it to play it? Like, best case, it helps you kill your opponent faster. Worst case is a 4-mana 2/6. And if your opponent's going to trade into this also has lifesteal. So when they hit this, they're also doing damage to their face. You know what I mean? So,
I don't know.
Like absolute worst case, it's a card for a card. Like, let's say they fireball this card for card. Best case, they trade in with 2 minions. They still take 4 damage because you're hitting this, and this has lifesteal, right?
Yeah.
So I don't see the downside to this minion.
I don't know.
I think I know what Harash is trying to do. Sorry, I think Harash. I know what you're trying to do, Harash. You're trying to use reverse psychology here. All right.
Well, no, it's true. I mean, so when I first saw this card, my initial thought was aggro, right? It's an aggro mechanic. It says, hey, turn your cards that don't do damage to do damage, right? Like, it's a 4-mana 2/6 that doesn't, like, you're not putting I-Beams and Soul Cleaves and maybe even Eldrazi in an aggro deck. So that doesn't make any sense to me. You can, but like, okay, making your deck worse, you're going with the whole idea of like, I'm going to put bad cards in my deck to go around one card that doesn't do what I want to do. That's why that was my initial thought, and that's why I thought the card was trash. And then, like Soul DH, I guess you could fit it in there. It's a fine card. I just feel like it's a win more card though, still in those kind of decks. Like, it's good, but it's not like I need this card. Like, you're still going to be Soul DH and smack him in the face for 15 without it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I
was my
think
Highlander
all of the
Demon Hunter.
points that you made there are kind of why I think when people are coming from D-Money's perspective, when they're like, this card is ridiculous, it's really powerful. I feel like I agree with a lot of the things that you're saying, where it's so situational and like something like Soul DH that it's going to be hard to even like use it in that fashion that everyone's imagining of right now. But I have played a whole bunch of the wild Soul Demon Hunter, which is kind of the same as it's exactly the same as the one that we play in standard, except you run Bran and Lotheb, you know? And with that deck, what you can do that you can't do in standard because Bran exists is like if I'm playing against like a priest that is healed up to 30, and then like I know I'm not going to get there over a period of 2 turns because they have a Reno in their hand or some way to heal to full instantly. Then what I can do is I can like chip at them a little tiny bit, like take them down to like 25. Then I can use Bran and all the lapidaries and all the twin slices, and I can kill them in 1 turn.
Yeah.
And they can't do anything about it.
Right.
And this card allows us to do that in standard. So if slow decks become really meta, kind of like they are now, where like Priest is the best deck in the game, and like Control Warrior is going to like 50 armor against us and stuff, then like this allows you to just pivot to an entirely new game plan with just kind of barely interacting with the board and just going for one gigantic destructive hit, which is another win condition that you can.
Which that's also how it worked. That's also how Control DH worked before Soul DH was, because you played Zeph. So you would, against like Priest, you'd have to OTK him with, you know, Twin Slice, Second Slice, Twin Slice, Zeph, Doomhammer to do like 20 or something. I don't know, maybe. But isn't the Priest matchup for Soul DH even still like, isn't slightly DH favored?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I think it's DH favorite.
Again, and this is always the caveat, like, we're going to have to see more cards, but right now, like, if this card was just put into the game, I'm not sold on it.
I am not either. I mean, it might be cool and it might not be, but I think like the option of it being something in people's decks is kind of scary for the play around potential from other opponents, and that warrants it potentially being included. Like, because like if you're playing a competitive game against like a Priest player and they see that you run this card in your deck or something, then like the entire time they're going to have to be healing their face with every single turn just to make sure that you can't just pull something ridiculous off with this. And that's kind of good for the requirement of making your opponent play cards and counterplay.
Well, also the lifesteal thing is actually kind of important in a lot of DH decks. Like if you can't play this against like a hunter or so like an aggro deck, you like they just don't kill it and you can never heal.
That's really scary to think about because if you're playing against like a face hunter or something, this card right here is like.
I mean, if you're playing against a face hunter with this card in your deck, you're probably running lifesteal anyway. So just don't play this card and just play your lifesteal cards.
Well, unless you just play Soul DH and throw this in there because you have Eldrazi Warblades. That's what I'm saying. It's like a build around card, but then the payoff might not even like do what your deck wants to do. That's exactly my point.
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely have to see
against face hunter means sometimes you lose. You know, like even Soul Demon Hunter loses. It's favored against Face Hunter, but you can lose against Face Hunter very easily if you don't draw your Warblades and your Mystic. You know, like if you don't get a Soul Fragment in the deck. Like if you don't do that stuff in time with between like 3 and 5, you just lose most of the time. So like this card being dead in your hand against Hunter, Harash is right. It can really fuck you. Like.
Well, without seeing all the cards, it's hard to say, like, you know, if they print more lifesteal stuff, then obviously this becomes more viable. Also, like, we're putting it in decks that, like, already exist for Demon Hunter, and, like, maybe there is, like, a lifesteal Demon Hunter, maybe Highlander Demon, maybe they make a Highlander Demon Hunter card, and this guy is just a good on-curve Highlander card.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? But I think in general, this guy's ability is cool, and it is very good. It's just, is it good enough to build an entire deck around? And I don't think it is right now. Which Harash, that's I think what you were saying.
Yeah, I think that's I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Cool card.
Next card.
Yeah. Next.
Neat design.
So this card. Can I start with this? Can I start here?
Please.
Okay. So for this card, I was looking at it and I didn't see the next card. I think it actually goes hand in hand here because this is a 3 mana secret. If you didn't take any damage during your opponent's turn, you draw 3 cards. So in its best, it's a 3 mana draw 3. But then I was like, well, your opponent's probably going to hit you every turn if you're going against like an aggro deck, or you know what I mean. If you only play this, your opponent has a minion out, it's going to hit you. It's like it's not going to trigger always. Then I'm like, well, then why is that good? And then you look at this next card, which I think goes hand in hand with that card. So if that card doesn't trigger, then this card is always going to take an effect. And I didn't mean to go to card for card, but I think the reason the other card is so good is because this card will also be played alongside of it. So something to think
Crazy
about.
mind games you have to deal with on curve. You know, like and the punish is huge either way. Like
yeah. So we've had
Ancient Mysteries is a card though. I think that's what makes this combo work.
Oh yeah,
Ancient Mysteries.
Ancient
Oh
makes
yeah, the 0 mana. Yeah.
It costs 0. Because then you can like play that on 2, and then you can play maybe another secret on 3, and then on 4 you can have the 0 mana secret to guarantee this.
Mm-hmm.
That's so much tempo. That's terrifying.
That's why that might make it. I mean, I saw these cards. I'm like, oh, they're pretty good. And I thought, oh wait, Ancient Mysteries exists. Like this could 100%. And Cloud Prince is still a card as well. This 5 mana 4/4 that does 6 if you have a secret. All those cards combined, it might make it a deck.
Yeah.
It's mage. Secret mage is an interesting archetype. I think we've seen maybe like one iteration of it work in the past with like the Medivh's Valet. I know it's probably a thing in Wild.
Yes,
but
it was odd when Odd Mage existed too. Odd Mage was a variant of Secret Mage, so that's important to remember. You know.
Yeah, I think typically with the Secret Mage decks, they're more like aggressive, more tempo oriented. But I could see the way that this is going right now with these cards, it kind of seems like you could do like a mid-rangey kind of Secret Mage because like even like the secrets that are available in the pool, it's really not like aggressive secrets. Like you don't have explosive runes to really just like push that extra damage. You have things that are going to draw you cards like this new secret. You have Mirror Entity to give you something on the board if they play something. Like you're kind of slowing down a little bit now with the secrets that you have available, it seems.
Well,
so
they're
it's
reactive.
like sure, yeah. I mean, explosive runes is still reactive as well, but it's just like less aggressive. I feel like it's just like more mid-rangey, but like it's I think it's cool. I don't know if it's gonna work. I feel like every time they try to make Secret Mage work, it doesn't work. But I'm hopeful.
It's fun
for
though.
If there's another secret, it probably works, especially if that secret has something to do with you playing a minion on the board. Like if it's anything like remnant of like Snipe or something like that, or like it like, you know, turns a minion into it, like does like the thing where it turns a minion into a sheep or explosive runes, like that is like it puts your opponent in a position where there's nothing they can do to not get punished when you play a secret. I guess. That's scary.
Yeah,
right?
Some sort of tempo secret. Yeah. You play a spell power minion, make a copy of it. A secret that triggers on your turn, which would be pretty interesting. But the thing about this card that strike me is if it triggers, you're happy, and if it doesn't trigger, you're happy. And as we know, secrets are kind of low tempo cards, right? You play a secret and you don't really get to do anything, right? And you're just hoping your opponent possibly activates it. But in this situation, with that new card that we showed, which we'll go to next, it's like if it triggers, you're happy, you get 3 cards, you got more options for the next turn. Worst case, you get a 4 mana 8/8. So I don't know, I just thought they went hand in hand so well.
Yeah, 4 mana 8/8 is nothing to scoff about, especially on curve. And if you ever get to like coin that off after doing an Ancient Mysteries, that's insane. Because you could go Ancient Mysteries on 2,
right?
And then next turn you could
coin.
Yeah.
That's pretty insane. Yeah,
that's really hard to deal with. Like
that's
disgusting.
All right.
That's why I said Ancient Mysteries. I think really is like the key here. Like that card being there really makes it a possibility. You need it though.
And then you can magic tricks into it too. So you have your turn 1 magic tricks into the secret draw on 2. So it's like you can tutor for it.
Yeah.
Does Ancient Mysteries rotate out next year?
I mean,
Ancient
maybe
Mysteries
next
is an
year,
old
but
Doom card.
Old Doom.
Yeah.
So yes, it will rotate out at the end of the set.
So we might get to see this shine for like a few months. That'd be cool.
That is a very big tempo turn. Like turn 3 4/4s with double secrets up that draw you more cards and shit.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Imagine if it's rigged fair game, and then like you have you Ancient Mysteries in a rigged fair game. You play that with the Opulent Conjurer. It's like, what do? Do they hit your face or they clear your board? It's like a lose-lose.
Yeah, and then next turn you just have the ability to just press all that damage forward and keep putting more things to make your opponent's turn awkward. So yeah, that's definitely going to be like really hard for decks to stabilize from that. So I can imagine it being good enough to see play.
So maybe Hunter runs Flare. We'll see.
Maybe, but doesn't Counterspell counter Flare?
Yes.
Yes. That actually makes me so mad. That makes me so mad. The card that's supposed to counter the secrets counter the card that counters the secrets. Like, are you kidding me, Blizzard?
Yeah,
that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, I don't know if Flare would be a good counter to this even then, because then you could just run Counterspell to like run everything amok, and then.
Yeah, and you probably do run Counterspell, honestly. So.
Of course.
Zeph is the
Counter's the
ultimate
counter.
answer.
All right, we got a lot of cards to talk about, so we should probably
Keep
it
going.
moving.
We're
Oh my
pumping.
god, this card. There are people on Reddit that like photoshopped him flicking you off because like that's like essentially what this card kind of feels like. I imagine being played in the opposite. Like what I first thought of when I looked at this was Priest is bad against Libram Paladin, right? To a degree. This card gets rid of all their Librams and then becomes the minion that has them, and then you get them all. They don't, which is crazy.
Yeah, there's been like an age-old standard in Hearthstone cards where if a spell does an effect and it's good, then you take that effect and you put it on a body, it just gets instantly better. And the example that people use is Flick. It's like a 6-mana 4/4 that does something and gives you a 4/4. And in my mind, this is kind of the same idea. It's like this is basically Thought Steal or all the cards that steal cards in Priest, but it's also a 4/4 and silences it. So it's like just infinitely better.
It's so good.
Yeah,
I
seems
mean,
really strong.
like the Libram example is really the best use of him. I'm sure I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but there's probably going to be really, really good outcomes with this card.
Rattlegore, dude. Imagine that, right? Like, imagine you see Rattlegore and you turn your minion into one of them. Or what is that? The 7/7 thing that like you run in like the big decks that like summons the 7/7.
Proto Drake.
Yeah, Proto Drake. That'd be crazy against Proto Drake. Yeah, that's
you know what I'm thinking? Even just on curve against like a Kargath Prime, like you get the car, you silence it, and it has rush, right? Because it's a copy. So then you can trade into theirs, silence theirs, and you get the 10/10 like in your deck right away.
Yeah, you can just yoink people's primes and take it from, and they don't get it.
Yeah. So I feel like one of the reasons. Sorry. Just one thing. I feel like one of the reasons why this card is so good is because of the silence. There's so little silence available in the game. Like we see Priest actually does have a card called Silence, and they have Massive Spell. But like the only silence we really see is like Consume Magic and Demon Hunter, and then Iron Beak Owl, which nobody plays. So I've been saying like that if like Blizzard really needs to print like neutral silence, or like there has to be more silence in the game, because like silence is so powerful, and giving it to only like one class or two classes is just kind of like, I mean, I guess Shaman has some too, but nobody plays Shaman. But yeah, I think the silence part is really huge because of the lack of silence in the game. Just saying.
Yeah. Nah, yeah, I agree.
I just like the flavor of this guy a lot. The nameless one, and then you can't see his face. He's just like all mysterious, and then he turns into different people. I don't know. That's really cool too.
Really cool card.
Yeah,
it's gonna feel so bad.
Ugh.
Yeah, can't wait for that golden. All right, next we'll make you feel a little.
Ooh, a Demon Hunter card.
Bladed Lady.
I could see
6-mana 6/6 rush.
Art for this card. Just saying.
Would you say?
I can see you coming up with some cool art for Bladed Lady.
Maybe, man. Rush costs 1 if your hero has 6 or more attack. So typically in Hearthstone, when you have the ability to reduce something to costing something as low as 1, and it has instant impact on the board, it's usually a very powerful card. And a 6/6 stat line is very it's nothing to scoff at. So playing a 1-mana 6/6, any circumstance that could be met, is a really powerful turn. So what do you guys think about this card?
There's no way this card is not good. I can't see it. It reminds me of Blood Boil Brood. It reminds me of, like, the thing is, with Blood Boil Brood, you can play that like for 6 or 7 mana, and it's still good. Like, you can still play this for 6 mana, and it's still a 6/6 with Rush. Like, it's still good. Even at 6 mana, I think you could still play it. It's fine. Like, this card just seems nuts to me. Like, to push damage and clear something at the same time and develop a body, I mean, it's why Demon Hunter's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this is the card I'm more excited about actually than anything, just because like being able to actually build more minion threats for the board is sometimes like what like the Demon Hunter decks that I'm playing are lacking. So being able to add something like this into kind of what Demon Hunter is already doing is just going to be like, it's going to require like single target removal for your opponents as well, which is something that we're kind of forced to run the Adapt 4 in the deck right now if you play Soul Demon Hunter, because and Adapt is kind of clunky in the hand, and this kind of is not if you can obviously meet the criteria. I do think it'll be harder to hit 6 health and fit in the mana to play it though than people will think. Like it's gonna feel really bad when your opponent lapidaries and drops this out and then kills your thing on the board and develops like a 6/6, a 6/3 or something, and a 5/5, and then hits you for like 7 or something. I get that, but that's like a very that's gonna take a long time to be able to do. And this card can really fuck up your outcast, which is something that I'm a little scared about, because like if you draw this early on in the game and you don't have any other cards to do it, it can really, really mess up your hand, which is often a reason that you lose games with Demon Hunter. So but I don't know. It has a built-in weakness as well, which is that this thing being in your hand with the wrong cards is crippling. So
yeah, I don't play a lot of Demon Hunter, but I'm like thinking of ways that this would be impactful to me, and I'm thinking like Galakron Warlock. It adds a good demon to the pool that has Rush, because right now the demons that Galakron can summon are not that fantastic. They're okay, but we don't have like a lot of Rush, a lot of great utility in regards to like Taunt. Also, Conjuring Calling with Power of Creation. It adds a lot more spice to that.
Oh shoot, you had to say that.
oh man,
I'm just trying to think of ways that it affects my life, because I don't play Demon Hunter enough to play this. So I'm trying to think of like other classes I play that would take this card and it would be good with. So there's this, with being at a 6 mana point, there's a lot of stuff that this is gonna like randomly generate from and be able to be generated by.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's a good point. That makes it, yeah.
Yeah, whenever you look at a new card, you have to think also just like, what if my opponent just like plays like a Witchy Lackey and evolves something? And like, can this card just like be like super good in that case? And this is one of those high rolling cards.
I think this card needs to be a 5/5, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that might. Yeah, I mean, someone said in chat. I think, it was Dyslexian, which is what I imagine will probably be the problem here. Will be like if you do find a way to get that really high attack level really early, and you coincidentally have both of these in hand, and then on like turn like 5 or something, you get to like buff your attack with a weapon or something that you already have equipped, and drop like 2 of these at one time, clear the board, and then hit him in the face. That'll often be like a 2-turn timer, and that's like really bullshit on turn like 4 or 5.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think the card is very, very good, but I don't think it's broken. Especially like the power level, seeing the power level of all the cards going on in the game right now, and like what we're going to get. I don't think it's broken, but this is very, very strong, especially with like the Stilt Stepper card, the new Demon Hunter card that gives you +4 attack if you draw a card, and then if you play the card, it gives you +4 attack. It should be quite easy to get the 6 attack, especially if you have a weapon up. You might just have to play 1 Twin Slice, like with a Marrow Slicer up. So I think it's really not that hard.
I mean,
it's no
just
harder
a single
than the Mage.
Twin Slice. Sorry, you can go on.
No, you're good, Harash.
I was just gonna say, if you have Eldrachi Warblades equipped, 1 single Twin Slice will do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or 1 slice if you have Marrow Slicer equals it,
Yeah.
But this card is also going to cost 1 mana too, so you also have to fit that into the equation. So, like it's.
But still, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not 0. If it was 0, I would think this would be entirely unfair.
Yeah, that would just make no sense. It should be like a 4/4 if it's
0 mana 6/6 rush. No, thank you.
Man, we love 0 mana cards. Just a note, we are at 50 minutes and we have 5 cards left.
Let's keep going.
Next.
All right.
Rapid fire, let's go.
The one that D-Money just talked about. Draw a card if you play it this turn, give your hero +4 attack this turn. And it's a 3 mana 4/3. We've never seen an effect like this on a card, and it's a really interesting stat line. What do you guys think?
Aggro.
Yeah, never seen an effect like that, and I never want to see it again. Because this card is super good. It is a cool effect though.
Flavor's sick. It has like no health, and you like if you can play the card that you don't know what you're gonna get, you get rewarded. So it feels kind of like you're walking on stilts. Like it's really neat.
Yeah, the flavor is super good.
Do you get it? Did you get that vibe about it too? Where it was
100%.
You take the risk.
That's why it has 1 health.
You might get there, you might not. It's like, do you fall or do you succeed? That's like the.
I have this problem with Hearthstone cards that like I never like look at the art too much, or I never really like pay attention to the name and like try to like correlate it with anything. I just look at like what the card does and that's it, and like the stats. And then
You
like
were just talking about golden cards and how cool it would be.
I know, but I actually don't like look into them so much. Like I didn't even like realize I don't realize like how cool these cards look until like years later. Like playing like the War Drake like a year ago, I was like, oh shit, this actually like looks really cool, golden. Like I didn't even notice like he has this and whatever, blah blah blah. Like I never really look at them. I just play. I see like the animations and that's it. Like I never really looked too far into it.
I hope this card is meta. Like more than any other card I've seen that's coming out for the set, this is the one that I want to be good. Just because I think it would feel very good to have all those things work out at once. Like as a play behind the pilot seat, like if you play the Stilt Stepper and then you draw a Twin Slice and then you hit the Twin Slice and then play the 1-mana Bladed Ladies, like that it would just feel absolutely cool. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're like, oh, I took the risk, I got rewarded, I have all these other things in my hand, I got this giant swing turn off of just like going for it, and it worked. And I love when risky plays have giant payoffs, and it's kind of
You're just a risky skipper, aren't you? Yeah. So
that card's not risky at all, though. That card's like the opposite of what its name is.
Yeah,
This
I
card
know.
is actually because, like,
True.
if you hit a skull on your on turn 5 and you have all those other things in your hand, like that's horrible. You know, you're probably just gonna be like, let me just play my hero power, and I developed a 4/1 on turn 4.
So there's a few things you have to think about with this card. One of the things is like if you do draw the card and you can't play it, is this card good enough still to run as just a 3-mana 4/1 draw card? Probably not.
So.
Like if most of the time you're able to play the card, then it's definitely worth it. I think. Like even if there's like a chance that you can't play the card, I feel like it's still a good include. And then you also have to think about this card in Soul DH, because if you hit a fragment as your card that you draw, it negates the whole effect. So that's just something to keep in mind with this card. A couple things to keep in mind.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you say? I'm sorry.
If you play Still Stepper and the card that you draw is a soul fragment, then it negates like his effect.
Yeah.
Well, what if you
Celestion
play the
confirmed
card
it.
that's not the soul fragment? Like
You
does
don't
that
get
count?
it.
It doesn't matter because it's the same idea with Skull. Like if you get a soul fragment off a Skull, it doesn't reduce the next card because the soul fragment is the card.
Yep.
Then why doesn't the soul fragment count as being played? Does it not get played?
Because you don't play it. It gets played. You don't play it.
Yep.
It just
You
gets a
don't do the
cast when
playing.
drawn
It
It's like a
does the
bomb.
playing.
Like, well, that's just how like the wording works in Hearthstone. Like you have to play it from your hand. It's not like if it is activated.
You know what? I like that. That doesn't work even more. Even though it's worse for the power level of the card, that makes it even riskier, which is like pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like it builds it to have like this slight anti-synergy with what it already does, and that's like kind of neat.
I was gonna say quickly too. Like the only thing I can think about this card is just comparing it to Mana Feeder Panthara. I think it's a slightly better Mana Feeder just because it does the same thing and it has upside. His stats are kind of worse, but like I don't know if that matters enough to make it not better. So that's my thought.
I agree.
Okay, good comparison.
Maybe you're right. I hope that the golden animation has like the little stilts like spiraling. That's what I want.
Barbershop
My
pulls
life.
or something.
Yes.
All right, what do we got
Very cool.
next?
Also, there's no troll demon hunters in WoW, right? Isn't that a thing? Like that's not true. Like you can't be a troll demon hunter.
That is true.
I can look that up when somebody else is talking during a car. I was actually going to point that out that was a troll demon hunter. I just didn't know the significance, so I didn't bring it up, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah, you're right.
doesn't
It's
exist.
not a thing. It can only be night elves and blood elves.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
It can be demon
Good
hunters.
point. So he's fake. He's a
He's
phony.
fake, yeah. Well, he's at the fair. Maybe he dressed up.
That is
Ooh, I like it.
true.
Boom.
5 mana, 3/5, warrior legendary, ringmaster Wally, battle cry, draw a mech, dragon, and pirate from your deck. As a warrior player, I do not like it's a good draw, but like it's just why do we get cards like this and all the other classes get giga flavor, like the priest one or like the demon hunter one, and then we get like draw garbage. Like, and it's 5 mana, 3/5, so stat wise sucks, but drawing 3 cards is good. And then like a lot of the other cards synergize with, of course, the mech, dragon, and pirate stuff. But like Why can't warrior be cool?
I actually thought this card was super cool. I don't know. I thought this card was sweet. I saw something like, man,
Really?
this looks super fun. Yeah. Well, I mean, did you play during Curator days? I mean, it reminded me
Yeah.
of Curator, and I was like, this is cool. I can get down with this. I thought it was
The
pretty
curator
cool.
had taunt.
Yeah, it was also 7 mana.
Well, maybe, but he had taunt.
True.
I bet this
I
card's
don't
gonna
know.
have
I
awesome
thought this card was
animations
cool.
and awesome statements he says when he hits things. Like I bet it'll play really goofy music.
Yeah.
And I bet drawing like whatever mech is good, whatever dragon you run, and your risky skipper will probably be competitive. So
I mean,
Okay.
we've seen some good dragons for warriors so far, I believe.
Yeah.
And pirates, I mean, you can take your pick. I don't know if we got a new pirate for warrior yet. But
Doesn't
I'm sure-
matter. I mean, there's plenty of good pirates right
There's gonna
now.
be something good.
I would
for it.
like a big payoff pirate, like a pirate that makes a bunch of little pirates. Then I would like this card. Until then, I don't like
very specific.
it.
Well, yeah, I think this card is a little slow. I mean, it definitely you can compare it to Curator, which did have bad stats for the cost, and this does have bad stats as well. But you're getting a lot of value by drawing those 3 cards. But are those cards going to help you enough in the matchup? I don't know. But I also was very excited to see this card. I think it's cool. It fits right into my Highlander Warrior because I just play a bunch of random bullshit. So, yeah.
You know, it's crazy. Tomb Warden still exists, and that card that buffs a random mech in your hand like has synergy with that. So like you could tutor a Tomb Warden and then like have the weapon up, and then every time you swing the weapon, you're buffing both sides of the Tomb Warden, so that eventually you drop like I don't know some giant double taunt thing.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah, but we
I
have
don't know. Could be
all-
good.
That's a good
We've
point.
got buffing. We have taunt buffing stuff now, and we have like Armadillo, and it still doesn't get played.
It
Oh,
could.
Maybe this is
man.
what it
I just
needs.
don't like the whole drawing and then buffing, and then you get this big thick daddy, and then they play a 1 mana devolving missiles, and then it's in shambles. It's a disaster, a catastrophe.
Yeah. It might be too much going on for it to be good. I mean, I would agree.
Yeah. I mean, but the concept of drawing the dragon and the pirate and like whatever mech you put in the deck, like you could put that in Bomb Warrior now. Like you could just put like the bomb mechs in the deck, right? And then like you could just bring Risky Skipper and Horde Pillager, and then for the dragons, you could just like bring Deathwing. And then this thing just tutors your Deathwing, a Risky Skipper, and somebody ordered a bomb. And like that's just nice, you know, like that would probably be Ryan. Like I don't know.
You know, a cool thing with this card as well, if you're running those different types of minions, you could play N'Zoth in your deck, and that would be very good there too.
Mhm.
It's true too.
And you need those things to die first, so gotta
Yeah,
get
I
'em.
imagine controlled N'Zoth Warrior could definitely exist.
Oh, right, N'Zoth. How did I not? Yeah, obviously. With N'Zoth makes it way more legit, right?
Yeah.
And the new dragon has Rush too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Boom. Okay. This is the deck for sure.
This is like-
100%.
All right, we got EDC God of Metal. Another legendary warrior card, 2 mana, 1/4. After a friendly rush minion attacks, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. So very aggressive card here.
Again, I have the same issue with this card I do with Il'gynoth. It's like you're running a 2 mana 1/4 that does an aggressive thing, but you're running rush minions that are not necessarily aggressive. I would argue they're probably more control-y than aggressive. So you don't know, they
I hate it.
counteract each other.
I hate it.
Yeah, I don't think it's good.
Yeah, like people have been like assembling combos on Twitter with like broomstick, and it's like okay, but like that's not even good. Like I don't know.
No.
Like first of all, like your opponent has to have a board for you to trade into, and like or else you're just not gonna do anything. And like you have to have like multiple copies of this guy somehow, because 2 damage is nothing, and especially
Yeah.
playing as a warrior where you're typically not as aggressive of a class. I don't know.
I think
The
there's
best-
definitely support for this card we haven't seen yet, guys. Like there's definitely going to be like some warrior card that's like a 3 mana, like summon 2 copies of this 1 mana rush. Like
That exists.
something like that.
So I didn't think about this, but what's it called? It used to be 3 mana, but the 4 mana 3/2 that summons 2 copies of it if you've invoked twice.
Mummy, yeah.
They all have Rush.
Playmaker.
So someone said that,
Oh.
yeah.
So you get to do 6 damage.
Yeah,
only
Yeah,
but
like-
that's 6 mana. like that's still not even like that's gotta be the best case scenario, right? Like you maybe even this is already on the board and you play. It's still not good enough. I don't know.
It's got a Hanar stat line, right? So like if you could honestly imagine this card could stick. Like there are only specific decks that can deal with like a 4 health removal on turn 2. And like you kind of have to mulligan intentionally to do that if that's something you're trying to do. Like, yeah, Priest could just remove it with 1 Shadow Word Pain. Yes. Like Demon Hunter would have to use double Twin Slice to get rid of this, or like hit it with a Marrow Slice, which they don't want to do. Rogue would have to have like an enabled Vendetta or Eviscerate.
Yeah, but like the difference is like this is not even a card you have to remove.
I was just gonna say that.
You can leave it up on the board.
Leave it on the board.
As long as you don't play a minion, like they can't even get the effect off. So you're just like chilling.
Like
you don't you play Marrow Slicer and they can't even do it.
Why is this not a shaman card? Galakrond, like the hero.
But with that mentality, with the counterplay though, that also could play into the warrior mentality too. Because like if you play this card knowing they're not going to play a minion because they're afraid of you getting value out of this card, then like you as the warrior player just get all of that turn to stabilize. And warrior right now doesn't even do anything until turn 4. So if you put like punish for playing minion and then they don't, then you're stalling your opponent to get to your late game with warrior. And that's probably beneficial, especially if your opponent's like a rogue and they're like, well, you know what? I'm not going to play my DracoCatt because I don't want him to play that card that we haven't seen yet that summons multiple rush minions into my DracoCatt and hurt me. You know, like if people are doing the counterplay, a warrior could actually capitalize on that from not having people play minions. So
I'm pretty convinced this could be like a permanent effect at the start of the game, and it still wouldn't even be like that amazing. Like it just doesn't seem that good. It really seems weak. It really just. I mean,
best case with Wild, you have like Dr. Boom, and then it gives your Mex Rush, right? And then every time any minion could attack, you know what I mean? Like it would apply to just everything. You don't have to play it specifically on having the minion have to play Rush, because right now Warrior doesn't really play that many Rush minions, right? We have the Prime, and we got Prime.
Brute.
We got the Brute. There you go.
Reborn Mummy.
Yeah, we got. Is that main decked?
Dr. Krastenov. You have the studies that gives you the rush minions. Like there's a lot of rush minions, but like it's just not good. Like this card is just not good.
And then again, you're playing. You have 1 card in your deck that does this effect for all your rush cards. Like
you're not making a deck around this card.
No.
Yeah, I don't think you would build a deck around it.
And then if you're not making a deck around this card, then you're not playing it either. So like
thanks for this amazing legendary warrior card. I can't wait to play ETC, God of Metal.
I mean, it's a sick card. The art is sick, but yeah, the card's trash.
One more card I think we got, and then we'll probably wrap it up here. I do have a thing I got to get to. Couple minutes.
We have 2 more cards, by the way. But yes.
I mean, I don't even know if we have to do the last card.
We kind of covered it. Ticketmaster. So I thought this card was going to be bad when I first looked at it, but then I was texted by someone afterwards who explained the effect to me more in detail, and then I understood it more. Because originally I thought this was a 3-mana 4/3 Death Rattle. Shuffle 3 tickets into your deck. When drawn, summon a 3/3 plush pair. I thought it worked like the Darkness. Like you had to draw all 3 tickets in your deck to get the plush bear.
And that
what?
Because it doesn't say for each one summon a plush bear. It says when drawn.
Oh, you're right.
What? You didn't know that either, Harash? Really?
No, I knew it gave you a 3/3 for each one, but I'm saying he's right on the wording. Like it does say shuffle 3 tickets when drawn. Like when you draw all 3.
Yeah, it has the same kind of wording as the Darkness. It's like shuffle 3 candles into your opponent's deck. When drawn, awaken. You know, like
wow.
Shuffle the head, the body, and the legs of the plush bear. But you draw all 3 combined.
I mean, I was just reacting to it like right when it was announced and it was translated into English. So reading it and not watching the video, I was like, this isn't good. This is bad. Why would I want to shuffle 3 fragments of a little 3/3 into my deck? Like that seems like really
shuffle
slow.
And build a bear workshop.
Yeah, does that really warrant a card into my deck? But yeah, obviously you get 3 3/3s out of this over time, which is way better than my perspective of it. So I think it's probably good, even though it's on the death rattle aspect of it, you know. There are some
You're
ways that
playing.
Rogue can, what is the word? Exploit Death Rattle synergy. I don't really know if this card actually warrants doing any of that, but as like a 3-mana play, it seems like it's just tempo.
Yo,
Am
I
I
just
wrong?
realized something. You can. So my first thought was, you're gonna play this against a priest, and they're gonna nameless one it, and you lose. But I also just thought of you can play this and like do a bunch of copy death rattles, and then you can play the new Rogue Legendary, the Grand Empress, and then get them all.
Yeah.
Get
The
all
Great
the flush
Bear
rares.
Army.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Three
can
threes.
you can summon
And
the
then you have
bear army.
Vectus?
But this ruins Highlander
my
Priest
God.
if they use that card. If they try to punish you with Nameless One in Highlander Priest, and then you kill it off, they just ruined their Highlander package.
Who
No,
said
it goes-
Highlander?
No, yeah, that's true. That's
No,
true.
no one said Highlander. I was just
Yeah.
saying that
But that's
this
a good point. Yeah.
they can't run it as a one of in Highlander and then yoink this ability and then not be punished for it themselves.
It's 5-head. Maybe you play it on purpose against Highlander Priests.
Yeah, it's like it honestly is not targetable by like that card, which would be impactful to them. So
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna have
mean
fun
the
with this
thing
card.
the thing that jumped out to me immediately is exactly what Clone is saying in chat there. Stowaway. That's seems like pretty decent with this card. You draw
Holy
2 cards
shit.
that didn't start in your deck, and
Yeah.
So it's 3 mana 4/3, and then assuming this dies, like they like remove it on curve, right? Then you could play Stowaway, which is what is the stats on that? It's a 4/4, right?
Yeah.
It's a
4/4.
5-mana
5-mana
4/4,
4/4.
right?
5 mana
4/4,
4/4.
Yeah.
So you
I
could
don't
coin
think you
it.
can't even
Okay.
play it next turn, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
you could
but
coin
that
it if
also
you're-
it could work with Wax Shred.
yeah.
works with Wax is right. You
Oh,
could
yeah,
also
that's
do
true.
you could also play the scheme now and do some shenanigans with like Stowaway or with Grand Empress. Yeah, the Rogue is looking pretty
Mimi.
cool.
It looks pretty cool with that Cthulhu package too, where you like break up into all the pieces and stuff like that, and you can bring those things out of your deck with Stowaway as well. So like you
True.
could probably run like a whole bunch of, and like even in that Rogue Legendary, now I'm thinking about it, that's like the 5 mana
6 mana.
it's 6 mana,
Oh.
it's a 6 mana 5/7,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like being able to like, pick a card and draw a whole bunch of them. If you're running like the Cthulhu package, all the Ticket Masters, I don't know what else you can do. I'm sure there's like, you run like the schemes and shit. Like there's like a lot of stuff you could kind of just like keep shuffling in your deck and resummoning and punishing your opponent with that. And that's kind of cool. Maybe it's a new archetype.
Yeah, I think any archetype for a rogue that doesn't involve a bunch of random crap, that is cool to me. All right, so
yes.
Spoken by a mage and a priest player.
yeah, well, you know what?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I think that's all we got.
I think that's all
Yeah,
we
we
got
didn't-
today. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, Harash. It was fantastic having you on the podcast this great Sunday afternoon. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself, and hopefully chat. We all enjoyed having you here as well. So thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure, and hopefully you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah. It was a blast. Thank you for inviting me. Really appreciated it. Thank you.
Yeah, do you have any shout outs that you want to do? Can we get Harash's channel in the chat right here?
Sure, yeah. So twitch.tv/Harash_HS is my Twitch and my Twitter. And also I joined a new team called Faction. You can check them out at Faction Content on Twitter as well. So yeah, check them out.
Very cool. Thanks for being on, Harash. You have a wonderful day, Warshack. See you later, DMoney. I look forward to seeing through all these cards this week. I hope everyone enjoyed the podcast. Have a great week ahead. Peace out.
Yeah, new cards coming tomorrow. New reveals tomorrow. A lot of reveals for the next few days till the 11th, where we have the dump. And I'm not talking about the reveal stream, if you know what I'm saying. All right. But so yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, thanks for being here, Harash, and take care, guys. Have a good stream, Rob.
Yep. Thank you.
So-
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
See you guys later. Have a good one.
Peace out.
Peace.
See ya.